Dear students, today in the second lecture after the introduction of the syllabus, we will go through the essays of Francis Bacon. Our syllabus, as we have discussed and studied earlier in the first class, that Unit 1 is on Francis Bacon's 5 essays. We have one unit on Francis Bacon, one unit on Alexander Pope's Mock Epic, Rape of the Lock, and one unit on the background study of epic and essay. So we will discuss first or begin with Francis Bacon's essays. Francis Bacon's essays, or these also are known as, in short, Bacon's essays. Francis Bacon is a well known philosopher, scholar, moralistic person. Before going to study his 5 essays, as you know, of study, of love, of revenge, of friendship, and of study, we will little bit discuss about the Francis Bacon and his other literary works, his overall period, and so on. So, Bacon's essays means his philosophy is very well discussed, explored, exposed, and also put for the study of such syllabus is to know the learners like you also about the Francis Bacon, because his essays are not simply essays written in words, paragraphs, but each and every word is full with philosophy. Each and every word is full with experience. Each and every word is full with moral approaches. It also teaches us the way of living, the way of behaving, and to develop ourselves and let others also to develop. Born in, little bit about Francis Bacon, born in January 22 of 1561 and died in 1626. He is the well-known representative of the 16th century. He is also known as a well-known prose writer, we can say a philosopher as well of the 16th century. 16th century literature in general and the literature of British in particular, marked by the well-known prose writers like Francis Bacon, well-known writers like dramatists like Shakespeare, Marlowe, and so on. After the essays of Montaigne, Montaigne's work is known as essays. Essays. Francis Bacon writes the essays, and his essays are divided into 3 pages. 3 pages. He first writes 10 essays, then he writes 38 essays, and then he 58. He writes first 10 essay, 15 97, 38 essays, 1612, then 58 essays in 1625. This way he has written more than 100 essays. So Francis Bacon means the writer of essays, and his essays, what I told you, full with philosophy, moral approach, life experience, what to do and what not. He has highlighted such philosophies in short through his essays. Beside the essays, Francis Bacon has also written the other work like the advancement of learning, the advancement of learning in 1605, which is a philosophical work or philosophical treatise, philosophical work. And again of the same type, he has written the history of Henry VII. History of Henry VII in 1622, which is a philosophical history, which comments on philosophical history. Then he has also written the essays, what I told you, from 1597 to 1625. He has written these 108 essays. And also he has written one scientific novel entitled The New Atlantis. The New Atlantis in 1626, the scientific novel. Means in short, the literary work of Francis Bacon is like this, but more vettageful, more highlighting, more philosophical, more experienced, more full with moral is his essays. So he is known as the master of essays. One thing. After this, we will just highlight the essays beside the 5 which are prescribed for our syllabus in short, and in the other lecture we will begin with the essays, and his essays means his philosophy. First, you are very well aware with his essays. We have his of love, of friendship, of study, of revenge, of parents and children. These are his 5 essays which are prescribed for our study or syllabus. But beside these five well-known essays, we have his other essays also, and we will in short highlight on his literary work. One, for example, he has written the other essays like of travel. Just you think what the essay travel suggests. Because according to Francis Bacon, if you for longer and longer periods stay at one place, work at one place, lives in one place, you will never get any broader experience of what happening will happen in the other places also. So Francis Bacon in this or through this essay of travel highlights a worth knowing quotation saying that travel broadens our outlook. If you travel more and more, it broadens your vision, way of looking towards the world, towards us, towards of the profession. So definitely he will develop his intellect, his experience, and so on. So this way his essays are very useful. Even after this, in his essay of marriage and single life, Francis Bacon highlights his approach, way of looking of the people and others toward the marriage and single life. According to him, a married man is good. Married man's contribution toward the society, a responsibility towards the work, and way of looking towards the other aspect is great. He again says his opinion about the single life. He says single man is a good servant, a dedicated servant, works a lot, gives a time lot, but whenever the responsibility comes, he leaves the place. So, single man is not made to take the responsibilities while married man is born with the responsibilities. So, even he also gives the examples of the soldiers. The soldiers who are married, according to Francis Bacon, they lives very serious, and their seriousness and their responsibility towards the family and their care, so they lives very serious, very careful into their profession, and they win the match, win the fight, win the war, because they have to win it, because they have to live for their family. So married man is very responsible than the single or bachelor man. Even in the essays like of truth, he expresses the importance of truth, how it is useful, how it is necessary in the life, and one has to accept that he very well accept. Even the essays like of riches, the universal philosophy, you know, whenever you go through whenever the universal facts that riches or richness, nothing comes with us, everything remains here. But meanwhile, we just keep on the name of such riches, what we keep? The ego, superego, superiority, power, and that flattery, prejudice, and so, but everything is futile. Then he also expresses his views on death, adversity, of death, of adversity. You know what about death? That means the end, and the very unique philosophy. He, like the Greek philosophers like W.B. Yeats, he also expresses his views on of death, of adversity, because such adversity teaches a lot to the human being. And so in the prosperity, nobody is interested to learn, while in the adversity everyone learns a lot. So he gives the lesson of adversity, the final end of human being, by giving the reference of death. And also he talks about of discourse, of gardens, of discourse, of gardens, and so on. Because his essays, because about the discourse, we will highlight his opinion in also the study. It means that whenever you go, these five essential essays which are prescribed for us, beside that we have, means out of 108, only 5 are prescribed for our syllabus. But whenever you get time, you can also study the remaining 103 essay. So you will completely understand Francis Bacon, his work, his philosophy, his ideology, his moral attitude, and his experience and purpose of writing very well. One thing. So all his 108 essays are full with philosophy. Nothing else than that. Each and every word is of a high weightage, high worth, and high meaning. One. So when we talk about the contemporaries of contemporaries of Francis Bacon, he, because when the British literature begins in the 14th century, it began with the poetry. Poetries of Chaucer, and that also known as the long narratives. So they also means Chaucer, Geoffrey. Geoffrey Chaucer is also known as a poet and also a prose writer. Because when we talk about the beginning of the prose, before the Francis Bacon, Montaigne, and so on, it begins with Geoffrey Chaucer. Because his, we can simply say, contemporary of Francis Bacon. Just we will highlight in the 5 minutes. Contemporary means त्या काळातले सोबतचे. His prologue to the Canterbury Tale, Nun's Tale, Priest's Tale, Wife of Bath's Tale, so many tales are there. But all these tales are written, expressed in the form of prose. So, in the 14th century, Geoffrey Chaucer has gave introduction or introduced the prose style to the audience, readers and spectators. After that, we have the well-known writers like John Lilly has also given much scope to the prose pieces, and he has given more scope to the plays than the prose. John Lilly. Montaigne is known as the well-known essayist, and also we have the well-known scholar like Sir Philip Sidney has also written a very good essays like advancement of learning and so on. So the contemporaries of Francis Bacon are more, but thoroughly who has given scope or introduced the prose are very less, because it was such a period, the period of Francis Bacon is the period from 15 or the period of 1561 to 1626 is the period of such 16th century where number of contribution of the writers is given to the plays than the prose, because in the 14th century 15th century much space is given to the poetry and its sister form plays, and little scope is given to the prose in that period and its expansion form or sister form like novel has given a very less space in that period and it gets more space in the 17th and 18th century. So, Francis Bacon is, in short, a very well known philosopher, scholar, ideal educationist, social reformer, and a ideal experienced person very well expresses his philosophy through his essays. My dear students, with this little introduction about Francis Bacon, we will begin with the essay of Francis Bacon in the upcoming class, maybe of study or the another one. Thank you very much.